Oh, nice. Awesome. So with Bonnie, make sure that you're turning your hand up really quickly rather than snatching it away, because you don't want her to be jumping for the food. And nice work with Lily. I've not seen her jump in a little while. Good work. Oh, lovely. Hey, Lily. Hey, she looks so ready. Lovely. And with Lily, I like the way that you're releasing the treat nice and low so that she doesn't even have to reach up for it. That's really good. See how slow you can go. Lovely. So turn your hand up rather than take it away. That's it. Good. Nice. Lovely. If you've got a dog that really isn't prone, listen in, everyone. Lovely. If you've got a dog that really isn't prone to jumping up too much, but you still want to work on some self-control, a game you can play is the aeroplane game. So you can start that same principle, but move the food in from any direction. So they have to stay where they are. So if Spud moves out of this sit position, in fact, face the camera. Good boy. If he moves out of this sit position at any point to move towards this treat, I'll just stop. So it's going to come in quick sometimes, and sometimes it's going to come really slow, but from all different directions. It's coming. It helps with puppies that are really wanting to jump up and snatch things from you. You can also do this with a toy as well. So it's incoming. Good boy. One more. There. And we're helping them really learn. Good boy. We're helping them really learn that if they stay in position, food's going to come towards them. Lovely. Good work.
Hang on. I think I've got it. I don't know.
Nice work. Good work with Lily. Great. And finish off there and tell your dog they're fantastic. Yeah. Whenever we do an exercise, it's really important to actually tell our dog we finished with them. So give them a rub, and Spud knows full well that he's not going to get any treats right this minute. So don't forget to switch your pup off as well as get them interested in you. Lovely. The second warm-up we're going to play is response to name. Spud spent the first good few years of his life, even now, thinking that his name was Spud No, because we yell at them and we tell them to do all these things that we don't want them to do all the time. So what we really need to teach is their name being a really whiplash head turn. So if you say his name, if I say Spud, I want his head to be whipping back at me and having a look. So we're going to play a game. We're going to level this game up. The first stage of it is really simple. I want you to say your dog's name. When they look at you, I want you to mark yes and give them a treat when they lock eyes with you. If you've got a dog that really isn't paying attention to you and is more interested in other things at the moment, then if they make any head turn at all towards you, as opposed to away from you, then I want you to be just marking that and building up towards the eye contact. So we'll start, I'll show you a very quick demo. Spud. Yes, good boy. Spud. Spud. Yes, good boy. So I'm waiting for him to make that eye contact. Spud. Yes. So all I need is his eyes to look up to me, because he's quite focused on the treat I've got in my hand. I don't mind that he's focused on the treat in my hand, but I want to be really looking for that eye contact with me. Spud. Yes. Good boy. Spud. Yes. Good boy. Off you go on that first level, guys. So if your pup isn't paying attention to you, what I want you to be doing is saying their name once and then using kissy noises or maybe holding food up near your face to try and incite that behavior to start with.
Okay.
After a while, when you get them to understand what the behavior is, you can just wait it out. So Spud knows what he should be doing, but he's too focused on my food. So I'll try one more time. If I hold the food out to the side, you'll be able to see his head turn a little bit better. Spud. Yes. So wait for him to look away from that food. Spud.
Roscoe.
He's trying all sorts. Spud. Yes. Boy.
Roscoe.
Spud.
Yes. Good boy.
Yes. Good lad. Lovely.
Roscoe. Roscoe.
Awesome. So the next level of this game is to start building a bit of a recall. So not only do we want them to be looking at us, but we want them to be coming back to us as well. It's an all well and good looking at us as they run away from us. So what we can do is we can use a recall game for this. What I want you to do is to throw a piece of food to the side. Your pup's going to go and eat it. And I want you to call their name as they've finished eating it when they start to come back to you. So you're capturing that behavior and you're naming them reorientating up to you. I'll show you a demo. Threw it too far. Spud. Yes. I'll wait for him to come back to me and then I'll throw it again. Spud. Yes. Spud. Yes. So we're making it really easy for them. They're having to come back to us and having to return to us in order for them to get that marker and to get that treat. But it's a nice way to start making that game a little bit more mobile. Off you go, guys.
Roscoe. 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 Roscoe.
So with Lily, I've got you on mute, so I can't hear where you're calling. But what you can do, that's fine, I don't mind. But what you can do is make sure that you're throwing the reward treat away. So if you mark when your dog's away from you, they'll come towards you to get the treat. But if you throw it away, it's got added value because you've got a bit of chase drive to it, and you've got a bit of excitement to want to go and get it, and that will be really important to excite like her. Off you go. Lovely.
Roscoe. Roscoe.
Yes. Awesome. And finish off on that last one now for me, guys. Great. So, whose dog here jumps up at people? Has anybody got a dog that's really jumpy?
Yes.
Lovely. I gave it away earlier, but what do you think your dog jumps up for? What are reasons that your dog's going to jump up at humans for?
Food.
Food, yeah. What else?
Attention.
Attention, absolutely. And what parts of us does attention come from for a dog?
Hands.
Yep, eyes, absolutely. Eye contact and your smile. If you've got a dog that really is quite mouth licky, that's another thing that they're going to get attention from. When dogs greet each other, or when dogs socially interact with each other, they do a fair amount of mouth licking and sniffing around the face, and to do with our hands as well, because our hands contain the food, and our hands are the things that give that give smooshes and love and cuddles and put leads on and all these things that our dogs want. So we have to be really careful as owners of puppies not to teach them that it's okay to jump up. So the first game that I want to teach you is a withdrawal game with a bit of negative reinforcement with your pup. If your pup jumps up at you, what I want you to do is to play a really gentle game. It's very difficult to demo this, I might add, with Spud, because he doesn't jump. So I'll try as hard as I can to try and make him jump up. But with your puppies, don't try it this hard. Just do it nice and gently. Okay? So what I want you to do is to try and see if you can get your pup to jump. And when he does, I want you to pull up, arms and face away. Do it quite theatrically. So hands over your shoulder, look into the corner of the room and sound really grumpy, not having you jumping up. And as soon as you hear the paws back down on the ground, I want you to come back to your return position and pretend like it didn't happen. So I'll see if I can get him to jump up. Yeah, good boy. Ta-da. So just turning away from your dog. Good boy. So Spud's learning, even when I'm doing this, I don't really want him to jump up. Puppy. Good. Lovely. So have a go with that, guys, and let's see how you get on. If your pup's going to jump a lot, don't forget to start really gently.
What's that? Come here. Come here.
So do it really, really gently, so we're not necessarily getting them to jump up unless they really want
All right.
to.
All right.
So with Lily, as she turns to you, turn away quicker. As she comes, as if she's going to look like she's going to jump.
What's going on?
Lovely. So you can't see it because your back is turned, but a lot of you, when you're trying to get your dog to jump up, they're really keen and eager to speak to you, but as soon as you turn your back, they turn around straight away and they run off and do something else because they think, hang on, human didn't want that. In terms of dog communication, a big head turn with a big withdrawal is quite a big expressive, no, get away from me, I'm not interested. So every single time your dog jumps up, if you offer them that behavior, then that's going to really help them learn it's just not acceptable. And the dogs that I can still see trying to jump up now, they're jumping up further away from you and further back, and you can kind of preempt it, and they'll learn that it's okay. If you teach your dog that when they jump up, they're going to get cuddles, they'll keep doing it. Spud's big now, so I ask him to jump up, and he quite likes doing it, and he knows he's going to get cuddles. It's just something that we do because he's not allowed on the sofa. But I know that if he was younger, I'd be making a way back by asking him to do it. So when you're practicing exercises like this, I want you to treat it more of a way of life rather than an exercise to do, because otherwise we're just going to teach them to practice jumping up. Make sense? Lovely. Okay, we're going to take a 5-second break if anybody's puppy needs a pee, needs some water, and we'll be back in 2 minutes to move on to our next exercise when we're going to start teaching Leave It. Cool, see you soon. Let's go.
What's your day? What's your day?
Hey guys, we're back. How you getting on? Hey, awesome. So the next exercise we're going to move on to is about leave it. We're going to work on a leave it. What I want you to do, whose dog here, if you held some food in your hand, do you think you could ask them to leave it?
Oh God, no.
So what we have to understand with leave it is it's a really long thing to teach, because it's not just a simple command like a sit. It's more of a way of life, and it's that impulse control and that real self-moderation that you need to be able to be fair, I couldn't leave the chocolate on the side after Christmas or Easter. So that's something that we all have to practice, but it's the same with dogs as well. So we are going to put it on a verbal cue of leave it, but it does take a long time to build up. So this is a lifesaver, this technique. What we're trying to teach them is you never ever go near that. If I say leave it, you walk away from it. Absolutely leave it be. It's a fairly technical thing. So if you're people that's on the videos that I'm not seeing what you're doing, that's absolutely fine, but feel free to send me a WhatsApp video of your technique if you find this isn't working, and I can critique it and let you know if I think it's okay, or what you could do to make it better if you're struggling with it. So I'm going to move back into view so that you can see what we're doing. And I'm going to, again, take some treats in my hand. You're going to need treats in your other hand or your pocket as well for this one. So you've got some treats in your hand, and what you're going to do is your dog's going to sniff all around them and probably lick at them and try and get them, just like we asked them to in handling. But the second they break from it, there will be a moment when their nose comes away from your hand. I want you to mark yes and feed a treat from your pocket, not from your open hand, but from your pocket or from a cup near you, and feed it away from it. So you're going to lure your dog away from what you've got, what you're asking them to leave. So don't say leave it or anything yet at this stage. Just literally offer them the food, wait for them to break, mark and treat. I'll show you. Yes. So Spud knows this, so it probably will be much quicker than it will be with your pups. He's going to try and munch it. I'm going to wait for him to stop. Yes. And I'm feeding to physically move him away from it. Hold the food out. He moves away. I mark yes, and I feed him a treat. Yes. If your dog's just staring at your hand as well, that's perfect, because they're not trying to eat the food. That's what you want. Yes. And feed him over there. Off you go, guys. Have a go.
No, let him come away from it, brother. Good. You're still on it. Yes. Yes. Let's go, look. Here we go.
Lovely. Good work, guys. What I want you to do is make sure you put your hand out each repetition. So offer your hand out. Yes. Treat. Take your hand back in. And then offer it out again. Yes. And feed a treat each time. If there's lots of taste on your hands, because we've been handling quite a lot of food, it's harder for them to do. So next time, when you have clean hands, it will be easier for them. Lovely. Hey, Roscoe.
Yes.
Hey, lovely. Okay, so the level up for this one is to start putting a verbal cue on at this stage. When you've got the behavior of your dog not automatically going towards your hand, you can start saying leave it. If you can, I'm guilty as anyone of this, but if you can, try and avoid that really human thing of saying leave it. Because if you drop some medicine or your dog's trying to eat some KFC bones or something that's going to kill them, I really want your dog to know that it's not acceptable. So if you teach it with a really harsh voice, it might only work if you're screaming. So I want you to try and be dispassionate when you're teaching it at this stage. So without the shouting and the very, very military, leave it. So I'll show you what I would be doing. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Awesome. Off you go, guys, with your cue.
Yes. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes.
Yes.
Leave it? Oh, go at it. Yes. Good boy, let's go. Leave it? Yes.
Leave it? Yes.
Leave it?
Leave it?
Yes.
Yes. Leave it? Yes.
Leave it? Yes.
Leave it?
Yes.
Leave it?
Leave it? Yes.
Yes. Good, leaving it, guys. Awesome.
Yes.
Listen in. So we've got some nice leaving, we've got some dogs pausing, we've got dogs not snatching. The next level of this is to actually get a slightly open hand. So I need you to be sure that you can shut your hand quickly if the dog goes to grab that food. If your dog starts being quicker than you and snatching food from your hand, be careful, because you're just teaching a race to the food rather than an actual leave it. Really careful with that one. What I want you to do is to have your dog a decent distance away from you when you start having your hands open. So get a bit of space between you. If your dog's right up on top of you, they're going to think you're just feeding them. So same thing, but with your hands slightly partially open, just the food is just visible now. So you'll put your hand out, leave it. Yes. Leave it. Yes. And don't forget to feed far away from the food. Leave it. Yes.
Let's go. Leave it? Yes.
Nice work, Lily.
Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Leave it? Yes. Leave it? Yes. Good boy.
Okay, can anybody see if they can fully open their hands and offer it to their dog? Remember to be able to snatch it shut quick. Leave it.
Leave it?
Leave it. Yes. And think about where you're putting your hand, because at the moment we've been offering food above or to the side of our dogs. I want leave it. Oh, leave it. I want to see if you can get your food right underneath your dog's nose. Sit. Leave it. Yes.
Leave it? Yes.
Leave it. Leave it. Yes. Good boy.
Leave it? Leave it? Leave it? Yes.
Try and avoid, with Roscoe, try and avoid saying it more than once.
Okay.
So if you're saying leave it, leave it, leave it, it's probably not quite trained enough. So you want to try and make certain that you've got a really good solid behaviour. We're whizzing through this, so remember to just go back to that pausing before you even put the cue on it and build it back up. Leave it. Yes.
Leave it, yes.
Okay, so this is food in our hands. Food on the floor or unattended food is a different matter entirely. So the next level, I'm going to run you through this, but chances are you're going to need to spend a good week practicing these lower levels before you move on to this one. But we need to start putting food on the floor. So the easiest way of doing this is to start with it in your hand on the floor. So I'm going to do the same thing with my hand, lower it to the floor, leave it, yes, and Spud backs off from it. If you want to toss the treat away from you, leave it, yes. If you want to toss the treat away from you, it helps to reset your dog, yes, let go. And get them to move away from it, leave it, yes. So he does a little pause when I say leave it. Leave it, yes. Good boy. Yes. If he leaves it without me even saying, I'm still going to reward him. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Off you go. Have a go with that on the floor.
Leave it, yes. Yes.
At this stage, you can wait and wait and wait with your caged hand for your dog to physically back off and start moving backwards. It's hard to show you with Spud because he already knows to freeze when I say leave it. But if you just wait and wait for them to do something other than eat the food in your, like stare at the food in your hand and then mark it, you'll get a better behaviour of them physically backing off from whatever it is you ask them to move from. Leave it.
Let's go.
Yes.
Leave it, yes.
Leave it. Leave it. Go on, back off. Back off. Yes.
Leave it, yes.
Yes. Leave it.
Leave it, yes.
Good boy.
Leave it, yes.
Lovely. So the last stage of this is going to be food on the floor that isn't in your hand. This is another ball game entirely for dogs. So I'll talk you through how I would do this, but I won't leave you guys to practice it. You're going to need to get your base behaviour much stronger, but I'll show you how I would move it on. The next stage is going to be putting the food, leave it, on the floor in a caged hand with your hands over it. Yes, good boy. And then as he approaches it, leave it, yes. Leave it, yes. So I still might have one finger on it if I need to show him that it's still mine, not his. Yes. Leave it, yes. Leave it, yes. The final stage of it is dropped items. Now, dropped items are really difficult, and truthfully, I don't know how much Spud will actually cooperate with this, but I want you to be able to drop a piece of food on the floor and still tell your dog to leave it. What you don't ever want to do is get them to go and get the piece you've dropped on the floor, so always remember to feed somewhere else. I'll show you. Leave it. Yes, good boy. So dropping it from a reasonable height. Leave it. Yes, good boy. So he watches it intently, but he still doesn't go for that piece. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Leave it. I'm going to drop a couple of pieces this time. Leave it. Yes, Good boy. Awesome. I won't torture him anymore. Good boy. But that's what I want you guys to be able to build up to, so that when your dog approaches something, it's going to be a leave it. You also need to proof this, so make sure it works in all different environments, so dropping different things on the floor. I also need you to mess around with values. It's one thing asking Spud to leave a piece of his kibble when he's being fed the same value, but if I dropped a piece of pizza, I don't know if he'd want the kibble that I'm going to reward him with for it. So that's a different thing entirely. Cool. So have a quick 5-second break, play with your dog, tell them they're fantastic, and we'll come back for our last exercises. Okay, guys, we need to do a little bit of a challenge, Annika. I want you to find 2 items. I don't mind what they are. They could be cans of beans, mugs, anything. I'm using 2 cones, but go find me 2 items. Off you go. Yeah. Good boy. And I want you to put your items on the floor about a doorway apart. As you can see, I've put mine over there so that you could walk through the middle of them. Good work. Lovely. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do with these items is they are going to be our fake doorway. Now, dogs that DoorDash is a real bugbear of mine. I've got some that have done it before, and they can run out onto the road, they can run out and bark at other people, or if your dog's aggy, maybe they can end up having a fight with another dog when they rush through the door. Doorways are so irritating. I'm kind of understanding why we're in isolation. It's got to be said. I'm wanting to go out my door a little more than I ever did before, so I can kind of see where they're coming from. But what we need to do is to teach our dog manners around doors. This goes the same for getting in and out of cars, in and out of beds, up and down onto the sofa. Essentially, we need to put a little bit of self-control in our dogs when they're moving around with us. So I want you to go through this exercise with your items on the floor. Then after you've done that, I want you to start doing it on internal doorways in your house. So start taking them through internal doorways. Then I want you to start doing it with your front door. Then apply it to everywhere. We teach it really simply with notional doors at the moment because it's easier for our dogs to understand. But all you need to do is to have your dog be able to sit before you do this. So I'll show you. Say I'm going to approach my door. Spud's walk straight through my doorway. So we'll come up to a doorway. I want you to ask your dog for a sit. So whether or not you're using the word, whether you're using the hand signals we've taught, it doesn't matter. I want you to open your door, go through the door, call your dog through and ask them to sit again. And then I want you to lock the door behind you before you move off into the real world. I'll show you again. Yeah. Let's go. So you'll approach your door, ask your dog to sit. If as you're going through, your dog tries to come with you, I want you to just move back and ask them to sit again. And then you'd move forwards. Nope, we're going to stay there. I'd move forwards, call your dog through, ask for the sit, lock your door behind you, and then ask your dog to go free. Off you go. Good boy. Have a go with that, guys.
Okay, yeah. Boy. Good boy. Come Oscar.
Good.
Sit. Here. Sit. Oscar, sit.
Good work. Okay. It's the sit on the other side of the door that's more important than the sit before the door, if anything, because that's going to stop your dog door dashing.
Sit, Oscar. Good boy. Sit.
Good work, guys.
Oscar, here. Come on. Sit.
Lily doesn't want to go out, obviously.
Come in. Oscar, sit. On the laptop. Sit. Oscar. Oscar, sit. Come on, Oscar. Sit.
Lovely.
Boy.
Good work, gang, listening. Okay, I'm going to set you all a task now that you can start doing now, and if you can't complete it, I want you to be sending me videos for your homework. You won't be graded, don't worry, but it'd be nice to see how far you can progress with this one. We're going to put all the exercises we've learned together. I know we're not going to be having very many visitors and people around at the moment, but if other people in your house can help you out with this, this would be a good one. So your task is going to be, and you can do this with a real door once you've leveled up to it, I want you to send me a video of your dog approaching a door, sitting, you opening the door, you putting a piece of food down, leave it, leave it. Hey, what's this? So we're reinforcing him in the sit if he wants to go for it, putting another piece of food down because he didn't get the first one. Good boy. You, sit. You going through the door, picking up the food again yourself, and then calling your dog through. Sit. Lovely. And locking and closing your door behind you. And if you can get other people to be on the other side of the door as well, see what distractions you can get your dog to work around. So we're going to incorporate the leave it and the door work at the same time. So your puppies are going to learn lots of self-control and learn that good stuff happens when they're calm and they behave themselves. Lovely. Any questions on your homework? Cool. Lovely. You can send the videos to me by WhatsApp or by email, or you can pop them up on our Facebook page. Any of them will do. Lovely. So we've covered all the material that we needed to cover in class today. This video is going to be up online for you guys to watch, and everyone else that wasn't here with us today. Thank you guys for all coming. I hope everyone's well. Do let me know if you've got any problems or issues. We can work one-to-one, and we've had some really successful one-to-one Zoom consults this week as well. So it's been nice to be able to still be helping people and cracking on, and at least getting to see your puppies because I miss them so much. Awesome. Well, take care, everyone, and we'll see you same time, same place next week. See ya. Bye.